Alright, welcome to the commentary portion of this video, where now that I've, reached level 100 on 1x4, I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on him and where I feel like he's at balance-wise, playstyle-wise, and if I think I'll keep playing him. First off, I think he is strong, but with an asterisk that your mileage will very much vary, depending on your opponents. Because every move you make as a 1x4 is high risk for varying levels of reward. Let me explain. You move, when walking, slower than a survivor does. You regen stamina at the same rate, and you have very slightly faster than survivor run speed. You are not going to win a stamina war, surprisingly, even if you have, Corrupt Eye or anything, because they're going to have their gimmicks as well. You can be punished for using your abilities poorly. If you miss a shot up close, that survivor is gone. They get a lot of space, especially if they were already running and you missed. If you hit someone, then great, you can get your game plan going. But the hardest part about playing 1x4 is getting those first couple kills. Because 1x4 isn't just a range character, he's a snowball character. He needs rot minions on the field to be able to play at his best, with zoning and setting these master plans that no matter what someone wants to do, they're going to take damage. And with the lobby that I play against pretty often, I am not given very many opportunities to get that ball rolling. Which, granted, makes it all the more satisfying when I do, but makes it all the more frustrating when I'm just trying to relax. I know that there's an upcoming stamina change for killers, where if you're not within a certain radius, your stamina will not drain, and I feel like that is borderline required for 1x4 in the current, very heavily Sentinel meta-y state of this game. Granted, I don't think the Sentinel meta is a bad thing, not at all, but it is interesting because it makes it less of a power trip when playing 1x4 and more of an actual level playing field where you are almost at a disadvantage, at least again until you can force them to make a mistake and turn the tables. As for the Milestone 4 I'm not gonna say 4, yeah, because then it sounds like I'll get demonetized for it, but the outfit is pretty nice. The first two Milestone outfits, I kind of poked fun at this back when I made the Milestone 2 video, are bad. I don't like them. It is an armband, and then now the armbands are symmetrical. Mind blown. But Milestone 3 is where it starts getting nice. You get the spiky shoulder pads, and you get that little pattern on there, and now it looks like, okay, this person might be a force to be reckoned with. Once you hit level 4, you get like a cape, it really honestly makes you harder to see from behind because of all the black that absorbs light as opposed to having a very vibrant glowing green chest. Granted, the arm pads still kind of stick out a little bit, but they have also gotten darker. So it might be a usable skin for masking your presence. I do wish that they gave the rot minions something more interesting as the milestones continue, or maybe make it skin reliant, where, like, for example, Jack Frost gets light blue minions. I think that would be cool. Speaking of the minions of themselves, actually, please fix their pathfinding. That is the most annoying thing when I end up losing because my Jerrys are shoving their faces into the wall instead of doing something useful. I know that it would be cheap if they were to act like Cool Kid minions, always slowly pathfinding. I like that they have a set patrol distance and then chase. I just think they need to, I don't know, have a more safe path that they walk, where it's like, alright, maybe have them patrol where they died, but have them path around any obstacles. Because what I kept seeing almost every time would be Jerry's, unless I specifically path the survivor into them so that they wake up and start doing their job, they just find the nearest wall, shove their face into it, and eat that until the rest of the game. I do not know why zombies are hungry for wood, stone, and or plastic. It doesn't make sense, though. All in all, though, I would not recommend 1x4 if you're new to the game. You will not have a fun time. If you've been playing for a while, know what you're doing, or if you came from like Dead by Daylight and you play ranged characters like Huntress or Deathslinger, I think you will have a much better time. If I had to place him in the tier list, so to speak, not necessarily like A tier, B tier, C tier, but just where he is in the power struggle between all the killers, I would place him at second, but he is much less consistent than Cool Kid, who, I mean, let's be honest, Cool Kid is the most balanced design, and I think in gameplay, he is the most balanced currently. Granted, upcoming update, can't wait for all this to be outdated. One of the things that I think would, if I were to propose a balance change, I know this would make 1x4 too strong, but making poison non-lethal really hurt. Because there have been some cases where for example, if I pop a 2x second time, and then they get away, if I were to hit them with a mass infection before, I wouldn't have to worry. They'd be dead. Especially if I hit them once beforehand. Now it's not the case, and they can get away. Which is really frustrating when you pile it on top of all of the other nigglings that you have to deal with when playing 1x4. Like, again, he has no stamina game compared to the other killers. All of his attacks, the fact that it locks where you're facing shortly before actually releasing makes sense, but it's really annoying because now instead of, tracking a survivor, you have to play predictions. And predictions aren't consistent. Or at least they aren't for me, because I'm not psychic. To wrap up, or rather, before wrapping up, I do want to talk about a potential skin for 1x4 that I think would be really fun, if not a bit difficult to implement. I want to see Wild Hunt Heathcliff as the Earl King for 1x4. And the reason I say that is because I think it would be really, really cool if, when you used Rejuvenate the Rotten, it brought back the characters you killed as Wild Hunt zombies. No more faceless green mold minions like we're playing Resident Evil 7. I think it would be really cool if you could bring them back as themselves and really drive home the sense of despair and powerlessness for the last survivor when it's like they're being chased by 3 of their former friends. Granted, that might just be slightly psychotic parts of myself coming out there, but I think it would be really, really cool. Especially if it's like a Shedletsky is the last person, and they're having to choose between striking you or striking their former friends. Combine that with the upcoming new Last Stand theme for those two. Ew, it's gonna be good. I'm really excited for it. I've been seeing on the shorts that some people want me to throw my hat into the ring for being, like, voicing a skin. I am absolutely down for that. I would love to. I know I've been a thorn in Marcy's side a couple of times, so I know they they could reach me if the Forsaken dev team was interested. But again, it's their call. If they see a role that my voice might be a good fit for, then I hope that they'll consider me for it. But until then, I'm just gonna keep making what I make, and hope that you all enjoy. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon on my upcoming endeavors.